Hey guys, Venomous here and I got a brand new OTGT for you. Now today I'm talking about hand-me-downs, okay? Hand-me-downs, what that really means is it's pretty much like old hardware or old game systems and stuff with old games that you've played for many years that are just sitting there, and then you hand them down over to the next generation of gamers, or to like your kids or to a friend, stuff like that, while you go deal with all the new technology that's coming out at the current time. Pretty much hand-me-downs. Is hand-me-downs really a good thing? In reality, in my opinion, yes. I think that they're very good because it keeps especially good game systems that are, that are really the highlight of their day, or at least, were really big at their time and were exceptionally good and had a great lineup of games and stuff. It keeps them alive, and it keeps some of the older, more classic games that everybody knows and loves, keeps them going and introduces them to a new generation of gamers and stuff. The only bad thing about hand-me-downs is usually, when it's usually just a bad system or a bad game. Like, for example, like if don't get me wrong, the original Game Boy, I'm talking about the brick gray Game Boy, okay? It's a great system for its time, okay? Compared to now, the stuff we got now, it's obsolete, but it was still a good thing back in the day. I wouldn't mind handing down a Game Boy, to a kid, or at least as somebody I know and stuff like that. But what I found a problem is when you're trying to hand down someone a really crappy game, and to the point where you kind of like, you give them the game and you expect them to have a great time with it. Meanwhile, the game's so bad and stuff. You could have given them a whole bunch of other stuff because you're greedy like that. Okay, but that all aside, hand-me-downs aren't really a bad thing. Okay, you find that a lot of people giving people, or giving younger generation gamers hand-me-downs and stuff with a lot of Nintendo products, especially like, for example, like I said, the gray Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, the original Nintendo DS, and not so much the DSi and the XL, but the original Nintendo DS. But you usually find a lot more people tend to actually hand down over their original game, or game systems or portables like that, to the younger generation, more with Nintendo's products than anything else. Like, hardly ever you hear about someone like handing over like a Sega Genesis or something to someone that's younger than them, or like an Atari 2600 or a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 for that matter and stuff. You hardly ever hear about that. You usually find it more with Nintendo's products, which is, is pretty cool because Nintendo products really are meant to last. They're done very well, they're built very well, they have a great lineup of games at the times when they come out and stuff, and they last throughout the years. My Nintendo 64 still works, with all its games, with all its controllers, all its accessories that I bought, the rumble packs, the controller pack, the expansion pack, all the nooks and crannies of it, still works like as it did on day one when I first got it, which is great, which is awesome. That's how a hand-me-down should really be. To me, Nintendo's like really like the actual like king of actual, making their accessories and making their hardware really last throughout the years and stuff. You hardly ever hear about a Nintendo system that breaks down, like, ever, for the most part. It's very, very rare that you ever hear that. Most of the other game systems from other game companies tend to, while some of them still do last, like my PlayStation 2, even though it's the older model that has the disc read error problems, that still works every now and then. Same thing with PlayStation 1s. My old Sega Genesis still works and stuff, but a lot of the other systems that are done by other companies tend not to last as long as like the stuff that comes out of Nintendo. Maybe it has to do with like the actual like different things that they do when they go into developing their actual systems and stuff. Maybe they don't spend enough time and actually think about the long term and stuff like how Nintendo does. Whatever the case may be, they don't last as long. Bottom line is this: hand-me-downs are a great thing. If you really want to give someone, a good gift and stuff, and you don't want to pay a lot of money and stuff, just go back to your old system, maybe your old Nintendo systems, and just give it to them as a present. It's a great gift for anybody, okay? That's just my opinion. Leave your comments and video responses. I don't mind. Just keep it civil, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Venomous out, and that was only the goddamn truth.